Hello. Today we are going to share our learning from a book called The 7-Day Sleep Prescription by Aric Prather. As most of us probably know, sleep is important, but in today's busy world, it is often hard to get a good night's sleep. Our environment and the choices we make during the day can make it even more difficult. But there's good news. We have the power to change our habits and make choices that can help us sleep better. In this summary, we'll learn about 7 practices that can improve our physical and mental well-being and create a more peaceful sleep environment. Practice number 1. Resetting your master clock. Like every organism, humans have their own unique sleep rhythm. Most adults need around 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night to function at their best. The problem is that our sleep cycles are often disbalanced by things like stress, jet lag, and irregular work schedules. It can lead to problems such as sleep deprivation, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. Our bodies have an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This is basically a master clock that determines the rhythm of the cells in our body. Part of this is inherited in DNA, which is why some people are more likely to be early risers and others night owls. This rhythm controls our sleep-wake cycle, as well as other bodily functions such as body temperature and hormone production. While this rhythm is partially genetic, it can also be influenced by external factors such as light, darkness, and our daily routines. Our bodies recognize certain landmarks throughout the day, like when we eat our meals or the time we typically go to bed. By recognizing these signals, the body can anticipate what's next and optimize its functions accordingly. For example, darkness is a powerful cue for the body to start producing the sleep hormone melatonin, while daylight triggers the release of cortisol. One of the most important things you can do to reset your master clock is to establish a regular sleep schedule and stick to it as much as possible. This means going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on weekends. When you go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, it tells your body when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake up. Even if you feel tired, it's important to get out of bed at the same time each morning. This will help to train your body to expect sleep at a certain time each night. Practice number 2. Cutting down on stress. Restless nights can leave us feeling anxious and uneasy on the following day. Stress and sleep are closely related, and this connection affects our health. Our body's response to stress can influence the quality of our sleep. But the stress we face during the day, like work, family, and financial concerns, doesn't always determine the quality of our sleep. In essence, even after facing a highly stressful day, a good night's sleep can still be achieved. However, the quality of our sleep significantly influences how we handle stress. Research shows that inadequate sleep amplifies our perception of stress, causing events to appear more daunting than they might be otherwise, and our decisions tend to be harmful to our future selves. Like less nutritious food choices become tempting, and interpersonal conflicts might escalate. If we learn to regulate our stress response, we can see real benefits for our sleep, and improving our sleep cycle effectively manages our body response to stress and naturally alleviates our stress levels. To alleviate your stress, introduce the concept of micro breaks into your routine. It can be 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Whether you choose to read, meditate, or walk in a park, the activity itself is less important than the relaxation and rejuvenation it offers. These micro breaks, dispersed throughout your day, can act as effective tools for managing stress and ultimately enhancing the quality of your sleep. Practice number 3. Recharging the right way. Imagine it's 3 p.m., you're at your desk, and you start sensing a drop in your energy levels. The thought crosses your mind, did I not get sufficient sleep last night, or is my blood sugar running low? To counter this mid-afternoon slump and power through the remainder of your day, you instinctively reach for that third cup of coffee. Does this scenario sound familiar to you? Surprisingly, this mid-afternoon energy dip is entirely normal. It's an integral part of the circadian rhythm we explored on the first day of this journey. While there might be slight individual variations, the general pattern tends to be quite consistent among all of us. As we awaken in the morning, our alertness escalates, peaking a few hours into our day. By early afternoon, these alertness levels begin to decline, hitting their lowest point around 3 p.m. In the evening, they make a modest increase before gradually declining as we transition into the sleep phase. Now, what's the most common solution to having energy decline in the afternoon? You guessed it, caffeine. In fact, coffee holds a prominent place as one of the world's most widely consumed beverages. Astonishingly, every second around 26,000 cups of coffee are consumed globally. When people set out to enhance their sleep, a common concern emerges, the notion that they'll have to give up caffeine. Here's where a reassuring truth emerges: you don't have to bid farewell to caffeine. Actually, the issue is not with caffeine itself but when you consume it. The full clearance of caffeine from your system can take up to around 10 hours, hence be thoughtful about the timing for that final cup. Furthermore, there are multiple effective ways to overcome the mid-afternoon energy dip without compromising your sleep later on. When your body craves caffeine, it's truly asking for movement, fresh air, and a change of environment. So, when you feel that energy dip, instead of grabbing a cup of coffee, consider taking a brief walk outside. Anything that disrupts your routine and gets you up and moving will provide a rapid boost to your energy levels. This insight reveals that understanding your body's natural rhythms and optimizing your actions accordingly can empower you to navigate the day with a sustained energy level. By acknowledging the power of movement and fresh air, you can rejuvenate your energy levels without interfering with the quality of your sleep down the line. Practice number 4. Tackling worry and sleep anxiety. What truly distinguishes us from other mammals is our remarkable ability to imagine. This gift has undoubtedly contributed to our remarkable achievements as a species. However, as with any gift, there are also downsides: anxiety, worry, and rumination. Due to the fast pace of our daily lives, it's often simpler to brush aside anxious thoughts than to directly confront them. Yet, the moment we find ourselves in bed, these worries tend to resurface. This process, known as rumination, where we replay past events within the corridors of our minds, stands as a known contributor to the challenge of insomnia. A central issue lies in the disagreement between sleep and rumination. Achieving sleep demands letting go and surrendering control, whereas rumination thrives on the alertness of our minds. Moreover, the more we engage in worrying, the more entrenched certain neural pathways become in our brains. In essence, the more we worry, the more susceptible we become to its grip. While certain aspects of our sleep patterns might be beyond our immediate control, the inner landscape of our minds can indeed be managed. This realization presents us with a hopeful prospect: the opportunity to proactively shape our day to ensure a tranquil night. Take your time to allocate a specific period of time to deliberate worry. Choose a time that aligns with your schedule and set a 15-minute timer. Once the timer starts, embrace the freedom to worry about whatever occupies your mind. This might involve reflecting on your concerns or reviewing your to-do list. However, when those 15 minutes elapse, gracefully transition back to a state of more calm thought patterns. If you find yourself encountering worry throughout the rest of your day, remind yourself about the designated worry time. Allow these fleeting concerns to pass by, knowing that they have a designated space awaiting them. By limiting your worries to their appointed slot, you can gradually reclaim control over your thought patterns. By consciously managing our tendency for worry, we can pave the way for a more tranquil and restorative night's sleep. Practice number 5. Making time for a wind-down routine. Have you ever noticed when we start to drift off to sleep, it feels pretty gradual, right? Well, from a neurological standpoint, it is more like flipping a switch. At the core of this transformation, of the main drivers of this process is the body's production of melatonin. Unlike our ancestors whose sleep cycles synchronized with the natural rise and fall of the sun, our modern routines expose us to artificial light until the moment we go to bed. Research has shown that the impact of blue light, emitted by electronic devices, can suppress melatonin production. In essence, the same way natural sunlight interferes with melatonin production, the glow from our screens has a similar effect. While blue light has taken the spotlight as a prime suspect behind sleep disturbances, it's important to recognize that it's not the only one. The core issue lies in the level of mental engagement these devices stimulate. Whether we're engrossed in watching TV episodes or reading work emails, our brains receive a universal message: it's time to wake up. Unfortunately, this can lead to disruption when we finally seek rest. So, what's the remedy? Enter the concept of a wind-down routine. A wind-down routine is a sequence of calming activities that facilitates a smoother transition into a sleep state. Feel free to choose activities that suit you well, such as reading or indulging in a warm bath. However, there are a few essential guidelines to uphold. Firstly, initiate your wind down approximately 2 hours before your intended sleep time. If necessary, set an alarm as a gentle reminder. As the alarm goes, it's crucial to drop all stimulating activities, bid farewell to work tasks, and yes, I must regretfully inform you, temporarily not to use social media as well. This designated time is dedicated to nurturing relaxation, thereby signaling to your brain that it's time to initiate the process of unwinding for sleep. Understanding the influence of melatonin and the impact of electronic devices, you can design a personalized wind-down routine that gently guides you into a restful slumber. Through these deliberate steps, you're cultivating an environment for high-quality sleep, enriching your overall well-being in the process. Practice number 6. Rewiring your brain for sleep. In today's world, much of our daily rhythms are orchestrated by external factors beyond our control. Our lives are mixed with work, education, and numerous scheduled commitments. Throughout this backdrop, our brains continuously process information, react to triggers, and anticipate our needs. When we draw our attention to sleep, firstly we think about our beds. Remarkably, your bed can wield substantial influence, acting as a potent cue to signal that it's time for sleep. However, this same association can have an inverse effect. A frequent issue observed in sleep clinics is the phenomenon of individuals feeling drowsy before settling into bed, only to find themselves fully awake once they're there. Some even describe this sensation to a sudden switch being flipped within them. This phenomenon is known as conditioned arousal. Essentially, individuals who have spent considerable time engaging in non-sleep activities while in bed have unconsciously forged an association between their beds and wakefulness. A strategy to overcome this problem is to foster a mental and emotional connection between your bed and restfulness. Let's proceed with a few uncomplicated steps to implement this approach. First, resist the urge to slip into bed if you're not genuinely drowsy. If, after your 2-hour wind-down period, you don't feel the readiness to sleep, it's absolutely acceptable to extend this interval. Second, if you find yourself in bed, tossing and turning, consider temporarily leaving and engaging in one of the relaxing activities from your wind-down routine. Once you sense sleepiness, return to bed and attempt once again. Lastly, as you navigate this process, remember to grant yourself kindness and patience. Sleep anxiety ranks among the most powerful triggers of insomnia. Thus, it's essential to cultivate a relaxed attitude and provide both your body and mind enough time to adjust. Practice number 7. Staying up late to build sleep pressure. This section emphasizes on a twofold journey, focusing on the enhancement of sleep drive through sleep restriction. Imagine this process like inflating a balloon. From the moment you awaken in the morning, the balloon begins to inflate, symbolizing the gradual buildup of sleep pressure. As the balloon approaches fullness, ideally, when bedtime arrives, the urge to sleep becomes palpable. The essence of this strategy is quite straightforward. If sleep remains elusive, extend your waking hours late into the night. Interestingly, some individuals may initially approach this idea with skepticism, fearing that staying awake longer will result in reduced sleep. In reality, it translates to a reduction in time spent in bed. As we've previously discussed, lying in bed while unable to sleep can enhance sleep difficulties. Try to go to sleep as late as possible, maximizing the gap between your usual bedtime and the moment you actually go to sleep. Maintaining this unusually late bedtime for approximately a week facilitates the accumulation of sleep debt. Over time, this accumulation prompts you to feel tired and ready for sleep during your wind-down period. As you feel that your ability to fall asleep swiftly and sleep through the night improves, you can start on a gradual adjustment of your bedtime. That's it for now. This summary was present for you by Curious Mind Habits. If you enjoyed this summary and want more bite-sized knowledge delivered straight to your ears, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below and don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well. That way, you'll be the first to know when new audio summary is released. Our mission here is to help you learn quickly and efficiently, so whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone hungry for knowledge, this channel is for you. Your support means a lot for us, and every like, comment, and share fuels our passion for creating high-quality audio summaries. Thank you for being with us. Keep learning, keep growing, and stay curious.